You know, in this time of sheltering in place, it's not safe for anybody to go to work. So the three of us figured we'd get together and maybe talk about some things that aren't safe for work.
Joe Exotic got coronavirus in jail.
I heard he was being quarantined. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the two main things that are going on in this world right now, like collided. It's crazy. It's weird. It's like we're in the simulation that we're in is just gone haywire.
What do you think would happen to those guys' zoos right now if they were open during the coronavirus?
What would happen to the zoos?
Think about it. Like Joe's zoo is closed, right? But if that was still open, there's nobody there. Like, how would he get in? How would he make any money? Like, what would happen to the Tigers right now?
He would probably blow something up again to try and get the insurance money.
When they showed Joe, and I was like, okay, he does all these things. He got two husbands. Wait a minute. And then it keeps going and going and going. My first thought is Carol Baskin is the craziest person. But if she's the craziest, then the craziest has to be the person who married her.
Okay.
Carol Baskin's husband is the craziest person on the show.
I got something for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That dude right there.
Wow. Who does that willingly?
That dude right there is the craziest person.
Although we do know that Carol had a lot of money, right? And I would say, especially given these financial times, if you were going to marry a woman who had a lot of money, I would probably do a lot worse than to dress up like Fred Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone on a leash.
You're right, Lance. It's just getting crazier and crazier. I remember watching the first episode, and I was like, this is wild. This is nuts. How is it going to top this? This is just as crazy as everyone made it out to be, because I got the Tiger King a little late. And then the very first scene of the second episode starts with Saf getting her arm cut off, or arm bitten off. It's just, it's nutty.
And coming back to work to feed. She's still feeding.
Like 4 days later, 5 days later?
5 days later.
She was back within a week. It was like 2 days after surgery. She had like a 5-day recovery, and then she was back to work.
If Joe is feeding his employees expired meat, I would imagine that the healthcare that the zoo provides probably isn't great. So I'd imagine
not at all.
That Saf is probably paying out of pocket for a lot of those medical expenses.
Yeah,
the tiger probably ate that arm and spit it out because it wasn't expired.
It wasn't used to eating meat that fresh.
Saf was also one of the few people that was seemed loyal to Joe to the very end, because even the guy with no legs basically hated on everybody. Like the whole time he was just sitting there, just like he had some gossip about everybody.
The guy with no legs, you could tell he wanted to walk away a long time ago, but he couldn't.
The crocodile hunter is a Caucasian person, and Evel Knievel is a Caucasian person, and Bear Grylls is white. You don't see a lot of POC go out into nature and do these kind of crazy things. So no. my vote for one of the craziest is our boy Mario, who they base Scarface off of, apparently. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, all right, there's no people of color in this. We're good. We made it. And then literally 5 seconds later, our boy Mario shows up, dismembered some people, we think, or was a part of, although he didn't do it. But Mario also bat feces crazy.
Hey, people get dismembered every day, B. You be all right. You tough,
I like how we try to play it off like, oh, yeah, they were going to do it. I was just there. Like, what was I supposed to do? Like, stop them from dismembering them?
So, look, Mario was selling cocaine to support his tiger habit, and he was by far the most sane, normal person in those 6.5 hours or however long I was watching.
That guy seemed like he might have been one of the ones that loved animals the most. Like you said, he was selling drugs to support his animal habit.
Yeah, he wasn't no MTV Cribs. He wasn't trying to buy jewelry. Nah, I'm selling this cocaine for bobcats and tigers, baby. That's my drug of choice.
My drug of choice is leopards. That's my real vice, is bobcats.
Lemurs. If I gotta throw in a name for craziest person, I might actually go craziest people, because you remember this motherfucker Joe had the nerve to run for president, and then when he didn't, like, clearly didn't get that, he ran for governor, put a bunch of money towards going for governor, and there were people that voted for this guy.
Yes.
So I'm gonna throw a wrench in the chain and say anybody who voted for this man right here is the craziest person on that show.
Well, I think given our current political climate and our current political status, this does not surprise me that Joe Exotic got some votes, especially maybe in that part of the country. But yeah, that's wild.
Listen, Joe Exotic running for president in 2016, I'm not for sure he would be doing a better job than who we got that year.
Oh, speaking of, have you guys seen his platform? Look at this. First of all, there's a million things here that in a traditional political platform contradict each other, but the last two are the most hilarious of this. Anti-cyberbullying, anti-cyber stalking. This man spent hundreds of YouTube episodes basically threatening to kill a woman.
Again, not unlike our current political leaders.
You know what I'm saying? Hey man, he was just following the status quo.
Hey, he was pro-choice at least.
I do want to shout out our boy Doc Ansel, who's also very crazy and basically runs a harem, and like holds women against their will and makes them dress up in weird cat outfits. And renamed Bhagavan, gave himself a name that means God. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Doc Ansel too. It's also crazy.
Doc Ansel had your boy Undertaker there.
Yeah. It's not a yeah. This question, you know, some questions on quizzes or exams are pass fail. This is pass. Whoever you're gonna pass, you just have to put anything. They're all crazy.
You know who was really low key crazy too was John Marciano, the homicide detective who had the little like monkey butler statue in his living room.
He was crazy as shit.
You know what was wild to me is that you have a house and you could, when you get interviewed in your house, and you could set it up anywhere you want. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I'll do it here. Let's have this. And
I want to show off my monkey butler.
You got to see it. Isn't it exquisite?
How much do you think he paid for it?
I'm going to say $500.
Seems like something you can get at a garage sale for about $19.99.
People adding taxes and change at garage sales?
Probably.
Tone, you kind of alluded to it earlier. Who's the most sane in this show?
I'm going to break that up into two. I'm going to break it into the person I liked who seemed normal, which was Saf. I really dug Saf. For some reason, as you mentioned, was just very loyal and faithful to Joe. And he had that weird cult leader thing where he took in people that were kind of, you know, misfits and castaways, and he kind of brought them in. Saf seemed the most normal. I also dug like polo, FUBU, like Rockaware polos. As someone who still dresses like it's still the early mid-2000s and the Sean John and all that stuff, I'm waiting for that era of fashion to come back.
You got to bring it back. It's up to you.
I respected Saf's fashion choice. But the most sane, I think is Josh, the campaign manager. He seemed the most level-headed, at least the most self-aware person in that circle. He seemed like out of everyone, he knew that, wait, these people are freaking crazy.
If I'm going to go with somebody for most sane, I think I'm going to go Anne McQueen, Dawn's personal secretary. Even though she was one of the suspects for murder along with Carol, like she was literally the only person who, like, she seems average.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a batshit crazy story other than her boss went and disappeared. She got screwed by Carol also. Oh,
check this out. This is a monkey wrench. Joe Exotic was the most sane person.
Oh, come on.
That's a hot take.
I knew somebody was going to try to pull this. Come on.
When you lead the crazy, then you know what's going on to an extent. You know how crazy you got to be led by a crazy person?
It's true.
To follow around a crazy person?
But he also got played by a couple people.
Yeah, I mean, that's because
like
he had a big heart.
Jeff played him.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah. Joe knew what he was doing. He was just doing all stupid shit.
The other guy that I thought was sane, he was quirky, but But I thought he was saying was it Joseph Fritz, the lawyer for Don Lewis?
Oh yeah, the one who
yeah.
basically was saying that Carol did it, but wouldn't admit to the fact that Carol did it.
He was smart enough to basically plead the fifth at any question that he was asked.
I'll go with Travis, obviously shooting himself.
God, that's what I was gonna go with.
What? No, you go first because I want to do the funeral. So you go first.
It was all okay. It was all gonna roll into one, but I'll set you up, Tone. I'll set you up. So, my wife and I actually had a debate about this because the first time I've watched it twice now. The first time we watched it through, I thought it was an accident, and she thought it was him.
I thought it was on purpose. I think he did it on purpose.
So she thought that too. So we watched it back again, and the campaign manager makes it really clear that he said he was playing around, and he has the Luger?
Yeah.
Whatever he had, he's like, yeah, this doesn't fire without a clip. Watch, boom. So the fact that this poor young man, who was probably not in the best mind state because of drugs and also being used by Joe, walks into a room, joking around with a guy, acting like the gun isn't loaded, and accidentally kills himself has got to be, if it's not the most batshit crazy moment of the show, it's tied.
That was a very heartbreaking moment, but I think the way they edited it too is there was a scene right before when he's talking about how Joe doesn't listen to him and he's going to leave anyway. Right. So the way it was edited made me feel like it was on purpose, that it was a suicide. But that was probably the most. I mean, there's so many heartbreaking, so many sad scenes in this documentary, but that one like legit brought a tear to my eye. Like, damn, this guy Joe kind of manipulates these people, and it cost this dude his life, and that was really shitty.
This is going to sound really bad. I didn't know whether to feel bad like you did or to laugh, though, because like, how do you accidentally shoot yourself in the head?
So
building off of that.
So it's really sad because this young man dies, and we get to the funeral, and his husband, Joe Exotic, is talking about how like, I miss Travis. He was the love of my life, and the times he put his balls in my face. Like, what are you talking about?
And if he worked here, he loved his balls.
This guy's mom and his sister and his family are in the front row at his funeral. And he's like, oh, yeah, he's, him, Travis, and his big old balls. Like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, God forbid anything happened to me at my funeral. Please no one tell any stories. Like, don't talk about my balls. Don't talk about my ass. Don't talk about, don't talk about my armpits. Don't talk about anything, man. And this guy's like, oh, yeah, Travis's big old balls. And then goes into a song.
What's sad, too, is Travis's mom, you could tell she was also on the stuff. Like, she was also
there, and you could tell they were pissed, too. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about at my kid's funeral?
I don't want to sound insensitive, but one of the craziest moments was that he was the only person to kill himself. Like, it seems like everybody there would be like, yes, I don't think I want to live anymore. I don't even understand how you, live in that. Surprised it wasn't 7 suicides by the 3rd episode. What shocked me when I seen it, the most shocking thing to me was them coming out and saying they weren't gay. I just been sucking dick for 10 years, but I'm not gay. I just, you know what I mean? Just
when you watch porn, you like the big ones or the little ones? What about towards the end of the series when Joe sells everyone out and starts working with PETA?
Oh, yeah.
It happens, man.
You know what?
Everybody flips.
Joe kind of strikes me as that kind of dude, though. Joe strikes me as, you know what? If I'm going down, I'm burning everyone down with me. So that part wasn't crazy to me. Because Joe seems like the kind of guy that, you play in the playground as a kid. If he doesn't get his way, he's just going to take his ball and go home.
He's going to take either his ball or someone else's big balls, and he's going home.
Finding out that Carol probably killed her husband, also pretty crazy. There's a small comment when she's like, oh, yeah, if you want a tiger to attack, you just put sardine oil on them. And I'm like, probably not what you want to be admitting when everyone thinks your husband killed you.
What about when you find out
you killed your husband?
What about when you find out that she used to run a zoo for profit as well? The episode where they were going deep into how Carol may have killed her husband, alluding to that. the music video that she had started playing was like fucking batshit crazy. The Joe Exotic having his like eyes and mouth over the picture of Dawn going, "Hey, Carol, get me out of the septic tank." Like that was crazy.
Hot take about Don Lewis. Kind of shitty. Just left his wife and 2 children for this 22-year-old. I don't want to say he deserved it, but
he opened himself up to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
He was not portrayed as a sympathetic character. So, after he got, it was like, well, if you hadn't left your family for a woman half your age, it probably wouldn't have happened.
My wife has a theory that Carol didn't actually kill Don, but rather she had some dirt on him, and then they made a business decision where Carol would take a bunch of his money. He'd go to what was it? What was
Aruba?
Aruba or
like where
Costa Rica,
wherever he liked chilling. So he basically disappeared. She got the money, blackmailed him, and that's why she's like, never mention this name again in this house.
I had not heard that theory. That is an interesting theory.
I have a theory as well.
Credit my wife, Lisette.
I believe she ate her husband, not the Tigers. The Tigers done nothing. I think she ate him.
You don't think he's in the septic tank?
No, I think she digested him a long time ago. I think she's a demon. I think she ate that motherfucker and swallowed him whole.
I'm gonna give you one more potential craziest moment of the show. It's when Joe runs out and starts firing guns at women as a joke. He's like, I think he's got a shotgun and he's like shooting it around his mother-in-law and like shooting at women that work at his feet. Like, how crazy you got to be to just go like start shooting at people as a joke?
No. Okay, look. I don't know if this is crazy or funny, but when he came in the gift shop, it was like, I'm just sorry to inform everybody. Someone's arm got bitten off out there, so you can have your money back. Whatever.
No, I think that's when he was like, I'm financially never returning from this. Like,
I'm never gonna recover from this.
Your homegirl's arm just got cut off, and you're worried about like what your profit is for that day. That was also shitty. That was. Can
we at least though give him credit for giving people refunds?
Very true. It would not surprise me if he had just said, "I'm just keeping your money." Here, kitty.
Here, kitty by far.
Here, kitty, and it gets the boost for the music video, but definitely here, kitty.
I kind of liked his farewell song. This is goodbye, my last farewell.
The one they used at the end.
You're my biggest thrill.
Yeah. Damn, you know the words.
I typed it
up. I've been reaching out to some of my I know a few people who work at like Apple Music. I've been trying to figure out how to get those songs on these platforms, but I've had no success.
Building off of that, would you say there was any song that could hang with Here Kitty Kitty from Joe Exotic in this series?
Not was there a song that could hang with Kitty Kitty in this series? Is there a song in the history of music that could hang with This could have been on Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, Purple Rain. This song could have been on Illmatic.
Could have been on Thriller.
This song is phenomenal, man.
Where would you rank it in all-time diss tracks?
I got Hit 'Em Up first, and then Ether, No Vaseline.
Okay.
Here, Kitty Kitty.
Here, Kitty Kitty on the Mount Rushmore of diss tracks. It's
Here,
up there.
Kitty Kitty's on the Mount Rushmore diss tracks.
It's like Teddy Roosevelt. It's the 4th one, but it's definitely on there.
But it's on there. Yeah. It's on there. Sorry, Takeover. Sorry, Back Down.
What about Super Ugly? Super Ugly can't make the list?
No, super average compared to Here, Kitty Kitty.
You know who looks stylish, although I feel bad because they're in a cult and they're basically a forced harem? Doc Ansell's wives had a very unique look.
They had a uniform.
Yeah, yes. It was the wife uniform, so I'll go with them.
It was like the wife of Tarzan uniform.
Yeah.
If we can go back outside, you're going to see all of these Joe Exotic Halloween costumes because he's changed the fashion game forever. He's changed hip-hop. He changed fashion. He changed gay marriage. He's done it all. So without including him, I would say the best look was Jeff.
Oh, you stole my answer.
And I'm only going with Jeff. First off, he had that. Remember when Undertaker went through that phase when he was a biker?
Oh, yeah. American Badass.
Yeah, like get your ass back in that casket. What the fuck is this?
That's what he had Limp Bizkit as his.
The bandana under the hat is like a really interesting look.
That was all Undertaker. Like I'm like, bro, you're not scaring me.
He was by far my favorite look because there was a point in like 2003, 2004 where I thought I could pull off the bandana underneath like the baseball cap.
No.
It was a terrible look. If I had any photos of it anywhere, it would be absolute blackmail material.
Is it Jeff? I feel like it's Jeff.
That's a complicated answer because obviously Joe was a comment.
Yes.
But
they all are, but who's the worst?
You know, I think it might be Carol.
Carol is by far the biggest con on the show.
I want to say Carol because not only was she making millions off of what was supposed to be like a conservatory for these animals, but she also conned a gang of people into working for free for her. That takes a ton of manipulation.
And she conned Don's kids out of the money, which was also really shady, which I thought was kind of messed up.
She had tiers of volunteers. She had like the yellow shirts, the green shirts, the light blue shirts, the navy blue shirts. You had to be 5 years to get this shirt, and all these people were working for free. The one lady says she hasn't had a Christmas off in years, and she's not getting paid.
And they were all saying, we don't never see her here.
Right.
So we just be doing all the work, and she be riding her bike with that silly ass helmet on, saying, "Hello,
what's up, all you cool cats and kittens?" Yeah.
With the phone too close to her face.
And she was giving a little too much information.
Wait, I got some for that.
What in her web vlogs, when she was like, "Oh yeah, whatchamacallit didn't go poop today." Like, who cares? Like, who really cares about Tiger's bowel movements?
The best love story was, what was Joe's first husband's name?
Yeah.
John and his new girl and their baby. That was
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with Joe and his third and the newest husband.
Oh, Dylan Passage.
Dylan. I'm gonna go with Dylan.
His newest hyphenation.
Yeah.
That
guy was still sticking with him.
I think that's part of the reason why Joe had his surname is really long and hard to pronounce. I think that's why he kept getting married, so he could have new last names.
He's trying to find
the
right name to go with.
Yeah, that's why he got married so many times. He wanted a better last name.
I'm going to go with Carol and Howard. I'm definitely going with Carol and Howard. Nobody was more down for their spouse in this show than Howard was for Carol. The fact that, like we showed you earlier, that he was on a leash. I mean, like, you don't do that unless you're head over heels for a woman. And he was just going like, he was going to all aims to hit lawsuits on people and follow up on stuff and do research. And
if a woman probably killed her first husband and you love her enough to marry her and be her second husband, that's
love. You're loving her like your life depends on it because it probably does.
That's the best love story.
Yeah, that wins.
Honorable mention is Jeff and his baby mama or girl, wife, whoever she is. She didn't look half bad. I said, y'all finna give me a bandana and a leather jacket.
And let me sneak in the baby tiger into the palms.
Yeah, he's doing something right over there.
I don't know if you guys have seen this post, but apparently they kind of let it leak that there might be a second season. Because he said he's not appearing in season 2.
I don't know how much ground there is left to plow. Honestly, I feel like they hit everything.
Maybe Joe gets out of prison after he snitches on everybody like 6ix9ine.
Takashi Exotic.
I think Mario Tableau, I think his zoo was the best. I think it was the best because he was probably the most passionate about animals. As we mentioned earlier, he was selling drugs to support his animal habit. His zoo was private, so he wasn't even like really exploiting the animals just to make money. I mean, he was probably breeding them and doing some other illegal shit, but in terms of the zoo, the upkeep, the animals themselves, like that was all private, all closed off. That's the zoo I want to go to.
So Doc probably had the best zoo because you probably gonna see some titties.
I guess it depends on what you're going to the zoo for.
Yeah,
Like,
nothing goes with tigers like titties.
Yeah.
But Joe's zoo, I feel like will be the best experience because you have no idea what you're gonna see. On any given day, somebody might get their arm bit off. You might, you don't never know how a tiger gonna act when they full of Walmart meat. I ate Walmart meat before. It does something to you psychologically.
You ever had an expired Walmart meat pizza, like they had in the show?
That was
all these guys sitting saying it's the best pizza they ever had.
Foul. They're like, they put the expired meat in the pizza. He's like, yeah, probably. They probably did that.
Oh, that was the nastiest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Mario broke the law, committed felonies, dismembered people, sold drugs to feed his tiger habit. It's Mario. And actually cared about the tigers. Like, actually loved the animals. He wasn't doing it for any fame or popularity. He just wanted to kick it with the tigers.
He had a long rap sheet. He's been locked up. He's done a lot of illegal shit. But at the end of the day, the animals came first for him.
You saying he did 12 years in prison. He had on his calendar, like, I got 9,622 more days till I get to see my tigers again.
Exactly.
Probably had a tiger calendar up on his jail cell. Like, it was like Shawshank Redemption instead of Raquel Welch. It's just like Tony.
It was a tiger. It was a box of Frosted Flakes. It was Tiger Woods.
Detroit Tiger.
Lion King. It was Simba. Everything. Detroit Tigers.
Everything. Instead of counting days with hash marks, he was like making tiger print with like the hashes.
Pause.
I would say, I forgot her name. Is it Sana?
Saf.
Saf?
The one that got her arm cut off?
Yes.
Or eaten off?
Yes.
Saf. Yeah.
I would say she loves tigers the most because why else was she coming to work with one arm? She wasn't coming for the money. They was getting $100 a day, if that.
She wasn't coming for the meat.
She wasn't coming for the Walmart meat. Yeah. She was coming for the tigers. She had one arm, and she said, you know what? But they still need me. What does that got to do with the tigers? How they going to eat if I'm not there? That's love for tigers. I'm going to tell you this. If a tiger would have bit my fingernail off, I'm not coming back to work ever.
I wouldn't have gone. The job interview would have been like, you're going to feed tigers. I'd have been like, all right, cool, I'm good. See you.
I don't like going to the zoo.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. I would have asked the hiring manager, do you see any other black people here? No. I thought I was working a concession stand.
But it's only a matter of time before zoos. They're going to outlaw zoos soon anyway. This is probably going to be it. They got rid of the circus. They're going to get rid of zoos.
I mean, it's been obvious for years that zoos are basically just animal slavery. Like these animals are outside of their natural habitat. They didn't choose to be there.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
Gentlemen, that was an utter disaster.
Our first and probably last.
It's maybe the only one we do, depending on how it turns out and the reaction to it. But
we'll just see what happens, guys. I got a question, Anthony. How are you keeping the facial hair off? What's going on?
I just decided to shave. I was just like, you know
Coward.
What? You know, when people zig, I zag. So everyone's growing out their beard. I was like, I got nothing better to do.
If I take I'm telling you, I am a slave under this hood. If I take this hood off,
give us a peek. Show us the goods.
See, that's why I'm not coming back next week. That's why this is the only one.
If I take this off, as soon as I take it off, Master's going to hear us. That's why I keep it on.
Oh, God.
It's all bad under here, Ann. I'm telling you.